So, Tifa, first of all, why didn't you warn me that I didn't do my hair before the stream? Second of all, why are you stealing from me?
What am I stealing?
You stole my coaster.
I'm not even sure where it is. Oh, on the other desk, I think. That is true. Did I take that? I think you took it, but...
Yes, you did. I've got too much hair. Happy Sunday, everybody. Congrats on being second Psycho. Welcome in. How are you all doing? I'm warm, thanks to Tifa.
Thanks to me.
Yes,
what did
thanks
I do?
to you. Well, you started the day with me being warm, because usually we go to the gym on Saturdays. But Tifa is saying, I want to go to this one course, but it's on Sundays. So I also went to the gym today with her. And I've been warm, slightly warm ever since. Hence some cold water.
Well, you didn't have to go today.
Okay, yes, that is true. There's nothing forcing me to. But I feel like if you go, I should go as well. I cannot be like out-gymmed by Tifa, I feel like.
I mean, that will never happen, don't worry.
But still, sometimes, like, when you do stuff like this, it does feel like it, so not gonna let it happen.
Well, how has your weekend been, Psycho? And anyone else's? It's been...
I need more water.
Quite relaxed. Today we watched one of my favorite animation movies from when I was a kid. I think I've seen the movie like 200 times, which is Quest for Camelot, and it's still as good as I remember, but I wouldn't mind like a remake.
I fell asleep 4 times during it. Quest for Camelot isn't a horrible movie, but it's not great.
I left that movie.
Nah. Like, if it's on like streaming wherever you live, and you get the chance to watch it, then go ahead. It's not the worst movie I've seen, but it doesn't make sense. Outside of the main character, the heroine, nobody really has any motivation to do anything. Zero.
Yes.
No.
There's plenty of motivation.
There isn't though. Not when it's ever stated or shown.
Like what? Like who?
Alright, spoilers for Quest for Camelot apparently. So, this for those that haven't seen it and that don't plan to watch it, or do want to watch it to see if my very awesome recap of a movie is gonna be amazing and true. So, the movie starts off with a quick recap of King Arthur coming to be King Arthur. Awesome. So, then there's the Knights of the Round Table. One of the knights is clearly evil, wants to kill Arthur because he wants to be king, because he thinks he deserves that, because he's evil, and kills one of the Knights of the Round Table, who happens to be the dad of a little girl we meet in the intro part.
Our main character.
Yes. Then, immediately she ages up 10 years because we need a time skip to happen. During the very brief intro sequence that establishes King Arthur and the Round Table, we also see a stable hand. Not that you would necessarily be able to tell that he's a stable hand, because you get that information from he stands between 2 stacks of hay and he has a stick and he fights a makeshift dummy. That's all you get from this character. That's all the background.
I don't really need more there.
Okay, now time skip.
It's just a shot you get where you see him pretending to be a knight when the knights come into the town and everyone is excited,
Tifa,
just as he is.
No, just because it's hot doesn't excuse bad writing. Anyway, 10-year time skip.
Bad writing.
10-year time skip. Evil guy once again has Camelot attacked, because they live in Camelot now, or half the entire time. Steals Excalibur from King Arthur. The sword is lost in transit back to him because reasons, plot needs to happen. So evil guy then decides, I'm gonna take my entourage of barbarians and go to the wife of the knight I killed, because I need her wagons when she makes...
No, not the wagons. He needs her to get through the gates.
Yes, he needs her to drive the wagons with unnamed farm items to get into the city. Because she has been invited back to Camelot because of what happened to her husband. So, then girl character, I forgot her name, little girl character, now 20 years old, intervenes. A bunch of shenanigans happen, and she is told, run away, run to Camelot and warn the others. And of course she doesn't do that, because, you know...
Because she has learned, before escaping with a horse, that the sword is actually in the Forbidden Forest, so she decides to go get the sword instead.
Yes, so first great lesson for children watching this. If your mother tells you in this like hostage situation, go get help, your best course of action is to not do that.
This girl is now 20.
But instead to become the help yourself, which is horrible.
She's always dreamt of being a knight, and I guess she saw this as her chance to help the city by getting the sword. I'm
super happy that main character Chan can live her best I want to be a knight life in this super high stakes situation, which might very well spell doom for the entire kingdom, if not at the very least her mother. But you know, potatoes, potatoes. So she goes to the Forbidden Forest, and there she meets a sexy hot guy who is blind, as she learns pretty fast. But you wouldn't know that, because just like Daredevil, he knows where everything is. And he's amazing at martial arts with his stick. The story then goes on and he tells you that he does know all of this because he's a hermit and he lives in this forest. So
this is all established in 2 minutes, by the way.
Assumingly, he's lived here for the last 10 years, so, you know, if nothing moves around, you know where stuff is. That makes sense. Then I fell asleep, but I'm pretty sure I missed only a training montage of where, for reasons that the plot dictates, main girl character and hot guy end up getting closer, and he trains her because she's useless but she wants to become a knight. Did I get that right?
No. There's no actual training involved.
But he is helping her do like survival stuff. I have seen that.
Yeah, he's helping her survive in the forest because she's running ahead, going like, oh, this is so easy and I don't get why this forest is forbidden. There's nothing going on here, and he's keeping all the dangers at bay for her. That's the bit you missed.
Mind you, he's blind. He can just sense danger, I guess. He's like kinesthesia. He can feel things move around him or something.
He hears it, plus he has a falcon with him that warns him.
Oh yeah, there's also a talking falcon. Now, the funny thing is, it's not talking, it's screeching, and kind of like R2-D2's beeps. Luke, blind hot guy, can understand the screeches.
There's no need to insult Aiden. Aiden was a great character, which is the falcon.
They make their way through Forbidden Forest, who turns out to be not just a forbidden forest, but like a whole stretch of like 16 different biomes. They go to Dragonland, where they befriend a two-headed dragon, who is following them around because
they are sick of staying there, because they keep being picked on by all the other dragons. Because they're an abomination, they're not supposed to be two-headed. Plus they're small, they can't fly, they can't spit fire, so they see this as their... Plus they also helped humans escape from their uncle who was trying to roast them.
Who's an actual dragon.
Who's an actual dragon. How are you doing, Motenart?
Hello Motenart, happy Sunday. Welcome into Jack Shits All Over Tifa's favorite movie, Quest for Camelot.
So they also couldn't really go back anymore and then decided to go along.
Okay, cool. So two-headed dragon dudes, their motivation is, I don't like it here and I feel sense of adventure coming up. Okay, fair enough.
That's enough motivation. You keep talking about how there's no motivation. There's a lot of motivation in this movie.
I was going to say.
I'm just saying.
I was going to say that. If you are in a shitty place and you get a chance to get out of it, take that. That's fine. That's beautiful. That makes sense. Staying for more than like another minute, but I want to stop and say hi. Hello Motonat.
Hi.
Bye Motonat with whatever you're doing. Have fun, success, luck, whatever it takes. Have that.
Go watch Quest for Camelot when you
Or don't.
have the time tonight.
Don't. Watch the VOD later. You'll get everything you need to know. Okay, so main girl character is, I really forgot her name, I'm sorry, is still walking through the Forbidden Forest trying to find the sword. So now she has a hot blind guy in her entourage and two-headed dragon. And
a falcon.
And the falcon, because he follows the blind guy.
The falcon knows where the sword is.
Allegedly. By sheer dumb luck, they get almost trampled by like a colossal-sized... What do we call him? A troll?
No, that's not luck. The falcon knows where the sword was. He saw it fall, remember? The sword was actually stolen by a griffin and on its way back to the evil
Nobody
dude.
cares.
The falcon made sure the griffin dropped the sword into the forest, and that's why he knows where the sword is. So we're following the falcon to the location of the sword. So the troll being there is not really a coincidence, because that's exactly where we were heading.
Let's just accept that Tifa has a point, but I'll dismantle that in a moment. Okay. So they keep walking around, and by luck or eagle, they come into troll land. And there's a huge big troll. I say troll because it's really like a living mountain kind of thing. It's humanoid and it's made from stone. But that thing has decided to use Excalibur as its toothpick. So they follow it around because apparently it's also dumb and doesn't see, smell, hear anything. You know, it's a rock. It falls asleep eventually. And they have this amazing idea. You know, they have a flying eagle. No, they climb down like in front of the thing and try to snatch the
They
sword.
can't use the eagle because the troll has the sword stuck in the ground. What's the also eagle now? I keep saying eagle too. What's the falcon gonna do with a sword that's stuck in the ground?
Okay, so the bird is useless again. The others make like this human chain holding onto each other's legs. They get the sword, but by then evil guy had already followed them. So here's the thing where I lost it. So
He has
evil
been
guy
following them the entire time, by the way.
Evil guy is now right in the room with them, and the troll who just woke up. The troll does this like motion, you know, because he doesn't like being stolen from, and he hits the bad guy and his weird bird demon creature.
Griffin.
They get smashed into a wall next to the convenient exit of the cave. Yeah? Now, entourage of main characters with the sword run to the exit past the guy.
They actually got farted into the wall, but sure.
Past the guy stuck in the wall. Now, if she now had taken the sword and just did a little stabbing action, the entire movie would have ended there. It would have just been over.
Yeah, but to be fair though, it's like a kids movie. Like they can't really go stabbing people in the back.
The moment she's 20 and she's grown up in Camelot, which we learned in the beginning has grown from this like time of strife and war, she should stab the motherfucker.
I agree, but that's like a general thing in any movie where they wouldn't do that, because otherwise the rest of the movie doesn't happen.
99% of movies require at least one idiot to work. Yes, yeah. Very true. So,
but like you can't put this on this specific movie, because that's in every single movie.
They get out of a cave, stuff happens immediately, bad guy gets the sword, they get into Camelot, they get into the castle, blind guy steals a horse cart and drives it around while it's burning and nobody gets hurt.
But yeah. you see he doesn't know where to go. The horse is just running around.
Of course he doesn't know where to go. He's
yeah, but you're
blind.
making a point about this, so I have to say it. You act like he's just doop-de-doop, and now go left. Oh, and go right after 20 meters at this crossing. Like, that's not the case.
Not the point. So, now, main character sees, oh, there is this pathway, like the side entrance into the castle room where the big fight is probably happening, and I need to save the king. I need to get in there. So she grabs blind guy and just runs in through this like elaborate like parkour-ish section, because like there's like scaffolding because they've been rebuilding, and that just works.
No, as he said, that entryway has been there for forever as an escape room out of that room, which is connected to the stables where he used to work.
He doesn't have a stick at this point anymore, by the way. He just knows where to put his feet while being pulled by her.
He does still have the stick at that point. He doesn't lose that until the end of the movie where he fights with the evil dude.
Okay, the stick keeps breaking, but it keeps coming back. He has infinite sticks. I don't know.
Oh my god, his stick did not break there.
Part of it dissolved early in the forest.
A tiny bit of the tip.
Just the tip. Anyway, so they get into the thing. They save the king. The battle takes them outside because bad guy is all about gloating and not actually killing. By the way, I skipped one thing. He says his motivation in a song when he comes to like steal the mom. He says, "I'm doing this because I'm evil." And I'm like,
because
okay.
He's bored and he misses all the fighting and the dark times.
He has a lust for blood. Okay, cool. I can take it. Anyway,
so that's motivation enough, isn't it?
So now, main girl and hot blind guy, played now by me, are holding on to each other. They're standing in front of the stone from the beginning where Excalibur was drawn from. Do you see where this is going? Anyway, so blind guy, now without a stick for real this time, because bad guy cut it in half, they're holding on to each other, and she goes, "Remember? Dodge at the last moment." She doesn't tell him where to dodge. She doesn't tell him what to do. It just works. Because bad guy...
Because they already had a scene where they did exactly that, and she gives him the signal to dodge in a direction.
Because bad guy, with his sword, doesn't do a horizontal swipe. He doesn't do a diagonal. He doesn't even do a stab through both of them. No, he starts a step forward, but then...
No, he starts it from up, down.
But then in the next shot, he went completely overhead, conveniently missing them and into the stone, which unleashes magic that was never brought up before. This. No, it doesn't matter. He stabs the stone and suddenly magic happens. This was never explained. This was never even alluded to. The only magic we've seen so far was in the sword, never in the stone.
Excuse me, this stone held a sword for years with no one being...
minutes.
For no one being able to pull it out, except for the one true king of Camelot. And then you go like, there's no magic in this stone. Then what the fuck was that?
Let me finish.
Like, no, you can't spout.
I was about to.
Well, then you can't spout. There's been no magic involved in that stone at all. And no one has explained me this. Like, that's the whole point.
So,
you already know.
Never in the entire story is it brought up that other than holding the sword really well, does the stone have magic powers. But when bad guy does a little stabbing action to the sword, suddenly the entirety of Camelot gets flooded with magic. The two-headed dragon separates, which is the one thing they wanted, but when they go, nah, they magic themselves back together.
They have realized that they don't want to be apart.
There you go. The bad guy just dies because he stabbed the magic rock. All the good things happen.
But the one thing you have missed though, because he didn't explain that. He was actually fused together with the sword by magic. That absolutely matters because you go like, oh, he stabs the sword and there's magic in the sword and then he magically dies. Yeah, he dies because he's attached to it.
Shitty sword, isn't it? Anyway, so bad guy dies, everything that went bad is being reset because the magic undoes all the bad things he's ever done.
Not everything he's ever done.
Jump cut, it just cuts and then literally the next scene starts with main character in a wedding dress marrying hot blind guy.
Being knighted.
Being knighted and effectively being married. They even have a joke like on the horse that they ride into the sunset with. It doesn't say just married, it says just knighted. They are married and knighted. And they become part of the round table. They are now part of it. And that's the movie.
No, it was great.
And then it's over.
That was a great movie.
hot blind guy says he chose to be a hermit in the forest because everybody made fun of him being blind. That's never resolved. The only reason... Yes, it does.
Why does it need
This
to?
guy needs therapy. The only reason the people in there now didn't jeer and throw vegetables at him is because he's now a knight.
Yeah, because he now saved the city. I am sorry, but
needs
that is realistic as fuck.
Yes, and he needs therapy. That would be a good message.
Please tell me, how many movies do you know where you go like, oh, this guy needs therapy, where they actually give him therapy? Pretend that happens in
My
movie
life.
2.
Hancock. In Hancock he gets therapy.
But then that's part of the journey. He gets therapy off screen.
Okay, yeah. Oh, by the way...
Afterwards.
We didn't mention it, but Merlin is in the movie. Merlin isn't being mentioned at all during the intro. He just shows up once where he goes, "No, King Arthur, let your subjects handle this."
That is not true.
And then he goes,
Falcon.
"Falcon, do the thing." And then later he goes, "Falcon, you did so well."
Yeah, he summoned the Falcon to protect the sword.
Show, don't tell. Nobody...
They did show! There was a whole scene where he summoned the Falcon right after it was stolen and he goes like, protect the sword. And then you see the Falcon going after the Griffin, fighting him for the sword.
Can you tell that she's being triggered by me? The movie only works because the Arthurian legend and Merlin and the Round Table and the Knights are so commonplace in like everybody's diet of stories at some point rather early in their life that the characters don't need to be introduced, and that's lazy as shit.
Because you just know them.
That's lazy.
And even if they don't have a big enough part, besides Arthur is introduced.
We see him as a young adult where he grabs the sword, pulls it out, and then he's king.
Yeah.
That's an introduction to
you have a whole backstory about how in the 10 years since he became king, he built up Camelot and brought peace and prosperity to all. That's exactly what is being said.
Being knighted and married counts as therapy, apparently. Back in the olden days, back in the dark ages, that's all it took.
Yeah, but after that there's plenty of time for therapy if that's what he wants.
This movie teaches you that if you want to be a hero, it doesn't matter if your mom is being held hostage and your entire country is being about to get cooped by the evil bad guy and you are the only person with a horse that can go fast enough to get to the place to get for help. You just go and become a hero. It doesn't matter if people die on the way.
Because the sword was needed.
If she didn't... Okay, here we go. What? Whoa.
What would they have done against a magical army? Because one thing he left out is that all of the soldiers were fused with weapons, so they're literally like a mechanical army. What are you gonna do against them? Huh?
I can tell you, the one thing the bad guy needs to happen for the movie to happen, they just don't let them in.
Yeah, which is exactly why he kept the mom hostage to go into the city. Because she has a free pass, no questions asked.
Yeah, wonderful.
That's why he went there.
Yes, so let her get killed and then they can't get inside. Which is a shitty thing to do, but it's the life of one person. Who should have killed her? The archers in the castle.
They didn't see it then when they let her in.
This is true, by the way. In the scene where they ride up to the castle to be let in, nobody sees the bad guy on his ginormous, evilish black horse, clad in the most blackest, evilest of robes, showing his disfigured hand and multiple times being seen and re-hiding his face. Nobody sees the guy that is an enemy of the country, that attacked the king. Nobody sees that.
Because he kept hidden.
Why did we see him?
Because you as a viewer are supposed to know he's there.
Okay, then Camelot deserves to be crushed by this evil barbarian guy if they are this inept at protecting the castle. There you go, I said it.
You're giving this movie much more shit than it deserves.
And that's the beautiful thing that I was trying to bring up before she ranted all over me, pointlessly. If main character girl would have listened to the mom, she would have taken the frickin' horse, gone straight to Camelot and warned everybody. And then they would have known.
Yeah, and then they would have found some other way to get into the castle because they're basically tanks.
Yeah, and there's a giant moat around the castle.
But we already know they can't swim.
And? Can they also climb like that? The entire movie works because idiots are being idiots. There you go.
I 100% disagree.
Quest for Camelot needs to be redone. Not as a movie, because what was it, 90-ish minutes? That's
Something
not
like
enough to tell that story. This needs to be a series. We need a couple episodes to learn about the blind guy and establish him and fully understand the pain that he's gone through, why he wants to be a hermit. And we need a couple more episodes with the girl, because why is she so stubbornly hung up on being a hero?
Because her dad was one and she looks up to her dad.
And she has no training. She has none of his skills.
That is not true. You have seen her training
Her training
in the barn.
Her training is to hit chickens, which is also really weird. She abuses one of the chickens on the farm a lot for seemingly no reason.
And the chicken turns out to be evil before he changes sides again.
The chicken became evil because of her mistreatment and then had a change of heart despite how shitty she treated the chicken.
The only thing I agree with you here is that this show should be made into a series.
Yes.
I would absolutely watch that.
This needs to be a 2-season, 10 episodes each epic. Give us one episode about Arthur and Camelot, then we get like 6 episodes setting up the characters, and then the end of season 1 is the sword being stolen. And then the entirety of season 2...
By the end of season 1, that's way too far.
And then the entirety of season 2 is her coming into her own. All the stories coming together on her journey to Camelot.
That's too much to happen all in one season. Now I'm disagreeing with you again. You're not gonna direct this.
Just get those 2 assholes from Game of Thrones season 8. They'll do it in 5 episodes. Just Henry Cavill. I would love that.
That would be nice. I would cast him in everything, really.
Gary Oldman was in the movie. He was the voice of Bad Guy. And he did that really well. I could not tell it was Gary Oldman at all. He is skilled.
Wasn't Sonic also in it?
Yes, Jaleel White was in it. He played the evil chicken. I know where. He should have done that. He should have done the Urkel line at that point. Sounds like a Mary Sue. Yeah, I mean, the plot needs to happen. Apparently it's based on a book, and I don't know if a book is better.
Do not trust Jack's judgment on this. Just watch it. This was my favorite VHS tape.
Yeah, and I get that. I used to love, unapologetically, Sonic Adventure when I was a kid. And it took me streaming it again to go like, it's fine.
Well, I'm happy I watched it again. It's been a long time. Can it use a remake? Yes, 100%. Is it coming? Probably not. But still, I'll take it.
Admitted I fell asleep 4 times during the movie, and I don't think I missed anything.
Yeah, I should stop giving you pettings during movies.
That was really sweet. I was laying on Tifa's lap and she was giving me squitches and stuff. That was nice. It was relaxing.
Yeah, that's why you fall asleep.
Yeah.
You're not getting that during movies anymore.
My hair is getting too heavy. I need a different hairband during the break. But that's fine. Tifa. Since we were rolling hot with spoiling stories, how about you tell us what happened? What? That seemed aggressive. Like I felt your jaw clenching when I had my arm over here, and I felt my hand was in danger. Like, Tifa, please remind me and all the wonderful people out there what happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 3 Tatarigoroshi.
It was actually a slightly disappointing chapter, if you ask me. The previous time it ended just before we got pulled into this big game and the loser would have to clean up after the barbecue. There would only be one winner, who then apparently didn't have to clean. And we skipped the entire game.
Yes, but they were bringing up like mantas and other fishes and sea creatures. And I was like getting into it. I need to know what the game with a manta ray is. And then they just go, done, Keiichi lost.
Yeah, we lost, so we had to go do some dishes and stuff.
Painful.
Like nothing exciting really. Then when we found a spot, we also ran into Shion, who was helping us, and we got to talk about Satoshi.
Shion followed us because Keiichi, being a very much 2024 level introvert, he took the dishes and he went to one of the wash basins, but they were all occupied. So he just kept walking until at a different building he found one. And Shion had followed him.
He was actually told to go there by the others. But does it really matter how they got there?
He was alone with Shion as the important part.
Exactly. Like, this doesn't add anything to the story. They were alone, they got to talk about Satoshi, and he was like, oh, he transferred away. And she was like, oh, who told you that? He didn't transfer, so don't ever say that again.
Is there proof that he transferred? Is there like physical proof?
Like, don't talk about things you don't know about. And
she seemed to be connected to that somehow.
Basically, I don't remember if she actually told us more. I don't think so.
Just don't talk about it. Just don't say don't say weird things. Don't say he transferred. Just don't talk about it.
She got very annoyed.
Yeah.
And when actually no, that was in a tip, I believe.
Keiichi was like, you're acting weird. She's like, oh, sorry, but anyway, don't say stuff about Satoshi. And then she just scurried off.
Yeah, in a tip, it turns out that she apparently was in a relationship with Satoshi.
Or maybe not, but apparently there were feelings involved in at least one direction, because during the tip, Irie and Shion have this talk, and like Irie kind of hints towards them having had a fling or something. Like the moment he brings it up, Shion gets all flustered and stuff.
Yeah, she got all started. It does. They at least had some sort of bond, and it explains her behavior. So after when the barbecue was done, we were walking home with Mion and Reina.
Yeah.
Where he also started asking questions about Satoshi, because I was like, hey, I heard she transferred away, but what actually happened to him? Because apparently he did not transfer away. Which made a button turn in Reina's head, and she went all lunatic about it being oyashiro-sama's curse, which Mion tried to stop.
Mion tried nice, like, hey, Reina, I would really like it if you stop talking about this. Reina went full cultist member and like full in on her other side creepy persona, including the eye thing. Until Mion actually punched her in the head. Like, that's the thing that happened. Yeah.
So yeah, Reina got triggered, and usually we would walk the last bit home with just us and Reina, because Mion goes in a different direction, and Mion this time was like, oh, Keiichi, how about you come home with me, because I still have those manga
you wanted to
borrow.
Yeah.
So while we go along with her, Reina goes home. She goes like, hey, please never talk about this again. We're sorry for hiding it, but it's a very sad story, so obviously we don't want to talk about it. And it's best if we never mention this again. And if it's about him transferring and not him...
Just preferably don't ever mention it again.
Disappearing without anyone knowing. And I think we promised to do that.
We promised to never talk about any of this again, which was really funny because we didn't actually go over to Mion's house. We had this conversation just a little bit away from where we said goodbye to Reina.
Yeah, and then we just left, I believe. Which was also the end of the chapter.
Correct. One tip you already mentioned, that's one that brought up that apparently Shion and Satoshi had something. And then we also did a tip where
About the
we
murder.
followed the police during a mahjong game, as always, and apparently the corpse that was found at the very beginning of chapter 3 belonged to a person that worked for the Sonozaki clan. I forgot her name.
Tepe? No, there was something.
But she apparently lived with a guy, and he is Tenpei Hojo, who is the guy that killed the lady that Satoko lived with after her parents died.
Yeah, I got a bit lost there
Yeah.
about the names and who is who.
I was okay with every chapter introducing one new character, and when here we had Ire, I thought that was it, and now we have Tenpei and we have Rina, I think it was. It's like confusing, and then we have all the Satoko family stuff.
We learned a bit more about the autopsy report, how she died.
Yeah, pretty much she got watanagashi, as in nails through the fingers and entrails being gone and stuff.
There was some things mixed up, but just press A, did we?
Did we? Watch the last stream. There you go.
Yeah, and now we're at the start of the next chapter.
Episode. Still confusing, isn't it? Click. Bum, 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 bum. Are you ready, Tifa?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. For promotion, I'm ready.
Did you get another promotion?
No, SpongeBob?
I mean, yeah, but I was getting happy, like, yay, another promotion for you.
I don't want another promotion. I'm done with promotion.
Do you hear this? Suffering from success. I don't want another promotion. No, please don't do this. Please give her another promotion, people.
I just want to climb down the ladder.
What? Why would you? Anyway.
So yeah, we're now at the beginning of what chapter was this? I don't remember.
Still chapter 3, but episode 4.
Oh yeah, episode.
This one.
Morning, Keiichi. Mai. What time did you go to sleep?
I did not sleep well last night at all. My mother could tell from a single glance. I had the worst dreams. Nightmares, very ominous dreams, one after the other, again and again. I woke up after each one, but could never even remember a fraction of what they had been about. But it was like those dreams were predicting something unpleasant. And I woke up in a terrible mood. Hey now. Every day has been calm and fun before today, right? Those days should continue on, unchanging. And yet, anxiety was the only emotion growing within me. Why was that? Nightmares reflect your own anxiety. They show an uneasy mind, that which you wouldn't admit to normally. Is that so? Because I remember once having a nightmare where a pizza chased me. How does that pertain to my actual life? Because I don't think I've ever been afraid of a pizza.
You really let a pizza chase you. Why did you not stop and eat it?
It wasn't the kind of dream where I was in control. It just happened. But anyway.
Like the pizza has no power over you. You have power over
Not
the
in
pizza.
this realm. Good thing I'm wearing this shirt today. Yeah, I'm not sure I subscribe to that line of thought. Yesterday, I remembered the ominous conversations about Satoshi I had with Shion, Mion, and Reina. Right. My mind felt like it was in black fog, because we had talked about that. If I had lived every day without causing a fuss, my reward would be ever more peaceful days. I understood that, so why did I cause such discord? But now that I've thought about it calmly, a simple verbal slip on my part couldn't possibly change the world. Yeah, as long as I'm sorry for doing it and never talk about it again, there's nothing that anyone can blame me for, right? That's not how crimes work, by the way. Just saying. Besides, how would my fate possibly change just because I talked about that? Nothing was going to change. Yeah, nothing would change. Nothing would change, nothing would change.
That's a creepy smile. If you're still half asleep, then go wash your face.
I finally cheered up enough to smile, but Mom slapped me right back down. I was irritated again. Not the kindest thing to say to a person who seems to have had a rough night.
Well, it can be creepy if you just start laughing to yourself while you're having a conversation with your mom.
Hello, child. Thou lookest creepy.
Exactly.
There wasn't much time left before I had to meet up with Reina. I frantically started to get ready to go to school.
Have a good day. Watch out for cars.
Creep.
Ominous. Warning.
There's barely any cars to watch out for. In Hinamizawa, anyway.
Except for white vans.
I dashed out the front door. The morning air was far more refreshing than the water on my face. That's right, Keiichi Maebara. If you're sorry enough about it and reflect upon your mistakes, that's enough. Now let's pull yourself together and get to school. And return to fun, enjoyable days. Where everyone laughs, plays, and just has a good time. I'll be nice to Satoko as an apology too. Yeah. Wasn't I supposed to be her nini until Satoshi got back?
Good morning. Keiichi-kun?
Reina too looked nothing like she had yesterday when she said that weird stuff. If I could only forget, then I could still act like nothing had happened. So I called out to her with all the energy I could muster. Hey! Morning, Reina. Early as usual today.
You never go to school with any bags.
Oh yeah.
Where do they put their lunches?
In the inventory. It's in a back pocket kind of thing.
Ah, should have known.
I think, I don't want to lie, but I think Metal Gear Solid actually has an animation for that. Like every time you equip or unequip a weapon, like your character goes like apparently all the things you need to take along live somewhere in your right back pocket.
That would be so handy though.
Imagine. That would be nice.
Morning.
Good morning. There was little time before the same old morning homeroom began. But Satoko and Rika-chan were unusually absent. Maybe they went to play somewhere? However, looking over and seeing none of her things, so it looked like they really hadn't come to school.
Oh yeah, wait, and we, I believe, found out that the Watanagashi still needs to happen.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. Also...
True, that's what we learned last time too.
Is it just me? Like maybe I'm nitpicky or whatever, but there is a difference in the writing between the chapters. Like with
more mistakes in this one.
I don't know if it's mistakes or just what feels like to me weird writing, and I don't know if that's on purpose or if maybe a different translator did the text. But in chapter 1, for example, Oishi never went He had a lot of ha 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 ha, but not a lot of for example.
Don't have the memory to tell you. No, but it could just be different people working on the text.
Yeah, and in chapter 3, it seems to me like maybe that's in the original Japanese as well. I don't read Japanese, so I wouldn't know. But like more sentences have a structure that feels archaic to me, like the last one. However, looking over and seeing none of her things, so it looked like, what's the so doing there? Wouldn't you just say, looking over and seeing none of her things, it looked like they really hadn't come to school? Like, it's little things like this and sentence structures too. I don't know why that is. And I can't Google it either, so I'm yelling it to you out there into the void of the internet because I want to Google it, but I can't because I will find spoilers and I'm not.
I really believe that has absolutely nothing to do with the story and it's not on purpose, but it's just either different people or like someone else translating, like you said, because some of the sentence structures are also different. Like I said, there's quite a bit more mistakes in this one which are noticeable.
But maybe
I think it's just different people on it.
Maybe that's on purpose to further instill upon you that these are not the Keiichi and Reina and Oishi from the previous chapters.
I'm 100% certain that's not the case.
I'll look up who translated this, but I think there are multiple translators.
Pretty sure, yeah.
That could be the reason why. But
if they wanted to show that people are different, they would do it through
chapters
behavior.
Being different.
Yeah, but they would do it through like behavior things and not through the format of how the lines are in here.
Yeah.
Because that's something only for you and has nothing to do with the game.
Fair enough. Oh well.
They're almost never late.
Reina seemed to be enjoying herself, thinking about what the excuse for being late would be.
Got to walk my goldfish.
Mian said something nonsensical as well, imagining how funny the reason they were late must have been. I had only come to school to see their energetic faces, since I figured it would get rid of those feelings I have. But the load on my chest remained where it was. It wasn't very pleasant at all.
Good morning, everyone. President, if you would. Everybody stand up.
Our teacher finally arrived. Then, finally, I heard the pitter-patter of footsteps running down the hall.
Clatter.
Rika-chan was the first to run through the open door. And then Satoko didn't come.
You're late for Ude-san. Where's Hojo-san?
It was unusual for Rika to be late, but equally unusual for Satoko, a ball of energy, to be absent at all. Everyone's eyes were wide at the series of strange events.
Satoko might be a little bit late. Has she come down with something?
I think Tenpei showed up. Because in the tip, if I recall correctly, we learned that Tenpei had been hiding out at the place of the girl whose dead body was found at the beginning of the game.
Wasn't that suspected? I don't remember.
I don't know if they had definitive proof of that or if it was just what they assumed, but I'm just gonna go with it. So, if the girl he stayed with is now dead, and the only connection outside of that he really still has to Hinamizawa is Satoko, I wouldn't be too shocked, in the grand scheme of how the story seems to go so far, that he goes and tries to find Satoko.
Yeah, but that seems weird knowing Satoko lives with others. Not by herself, more people knowing about you, finding out about you, talking about you. Doesn't seem like the most logical. Maybe
he did the thing from the bad guy in Quest for Camelot and he just got a really big black horse and put a really big black cloak over himself. You know, because clearly that works.
I'm not gonna say anything.
The teacher walked over to Rika-chan and they started talking in hushed tones.
Rika-chan is late and Satoko's absent. I guess crazy things can happen.
Nothing really worked in Quest for Camelot.
Yes, it did.
Dark Lord,
it absolutely did.
Welcoming welcome into you. Happy Sunday. How are you doing? Please share your feelings on Quest for Camelot with us.
No, I don't want to hear them. That was a great movie.
I would love to hear them. You can like the movie, that's fine. You can also dislike the movie, that's also fine. Unlike Tifa, I'm okay with people having opinions other than my own.
Yeah, only when they agree with you.
No, but maybe,
how are you doing, Dark Lord?
Maybe Dark Lord is gonna say Quest for Camelot is the greatest movie ever made because of these reasons, and then I can find something to agree with. Just because you failed at instilling the love for it in me doesn't mean other people might fail. I'm just saying.
You're right. But I wonder what happened to Satoko-chan. Is she sick?
Why now, when I most wanted to see Satoko's energetic face? The unease that had been building since last night tightened within my chest.
Kei-chan, you worry too much. Sometimes girls of her age can't help but stay homesick.
Fair enough.
Mi-chan, you're not supposed to say that around boys.
Oh my god. I never understood that part. You can't talk about this with other people. 50% of a world's population, roughly, are women. Chances are at some point they'll have their periods. It's a normal thing.
Because it's still a taboo.
Implying that Sadako might have menstrual cramps, exactly. I misswallowed my water. And there's nothing wrong with that. Mion laughed indecently. Indecently, like... Normally I would laugh along with her, but right now I just didn't feel like it. Homeroom ended and we went to talk to Rika-chan the short time we had before the first period started. Hey, Rika-chan? You looked so sad, so very sad when getting yelled at for being late. I'll make sure to pet you today.
God needs to do some bug fixing. I 100% agree with that.
Imagine if you could just toggle it on or off. That would be so handy.
Yeah, I can just imagine like someone sitting at the design table and go like, how could we solve this issue? Okay, you had bleeding. Let's add some cramps to it because of what's happening. Maybe some intense pain. Like I think that would work really well. And let's make it like on average a week long.
For like 40 to 50 years.
Yeah, exactly. And like once wouldn't be enough, right?
Nah.
How about once every 6 months? Once a year, maybe? No, once every month. Yeah. Let's do this. What horrible things could happen out of this, right? Nothing.
To everybody that never experienced period cramps, I can 100% recommend, if you ever get the chance, they have this like device where you put those electrodes on your like loin area, and then it simulates those like cramps for you and the pain that can feel like. I've done that once. A TENS unit, if that's what it's called, that. If you ever get the chance, try that out. It's an experience.
It's interesting.
Yeah. You didn't try it out back then, did you?
No.
You just saw my face and you were like, yeah, that's accurate.
I don't need to.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Do it. I was very aware of my gloom this morning, so I strove to keep my tone cheerful. I patted Rika-chan's head the same way she always did, but she didn't cheer up at all.
Meep.
What happened to Satoko? Did she get sick? For instance, she got a fever from playing around too much yesterday. If that had been her response, I would have accepted it in a flash. But the atmosphere around Rika-chan felt somehow heavy. It was a little weird and actually made my unease worse.
Hey, come on. There's certain things she can't talk to boys about. Kei-chan, back to your seat.
If that was the case, couldn't she still say she's feeling unwell but she should be doing better tomorrow, you know? Like,
yeah, but that's not what's the case, so...
Shoots tiny electricity into your body to stimulate the muscles directly, making them contract automatically. Yes, and it sucks. Talking about jolts of tiny electricity, welcome in Ranger.
How you doing?
2 fools, 1 controller. The game pretty much only uses the enter button, so...
we can both share the enter button.
Tifa, the amount of times you've skipped my lines is tremendously higher than me skipping yours. So, no. Wow.
I'll keep one finger on it anyway, Ranger, just for you.
Please don't, for my sake. This is making me nervous.
I'm not touching the escape button. I'm just having my finger next to it.
Yeah, and that's making me nervous.
See, redeem is already working.
No, unredeemed. No. See, we're just having a chat. We're just being nice old hookers. Oh.
Technically, it's for having a nice old hooker.
I was gonna say, what movie did we watch in Dutch not too long ago? Where they actually used that. We watched something in Dutch
Also, you're quite shocked that they actually use that. This is used in daily life.
I've never heard it before. I've been going to the Netherlands for over 10 years. I've never heard anybody actually use that expression, except for that one time in a movie or show we watched not too long ago. On our TV, I think it was.
Awahuda is quite common. Even I still use it at work.
Not in my circle.
Yeah, because no one wants to awahuda with you.
Yes, there's a rabbit lies in the pepper. Exactly. Wow.
No, that is very common.
I disagree. Mion, acting just like a club president, pulled me back to my chair. Rika-chan's gaze immediately fell back to her desk and she hung her head gloomily. Rika-chan had said something Rika-chan had said something odd, that Satoko might be a little bit late. They were living together, weren't they? And she would have known for sure. She would have said might. I didn't understand why she was absent, and that made me all the more anxious. Damn it, what's going on today? It's like we started off on the wrong foot and it wasn't going to get any better.
When you're late, you might as well not come at all anymore.
Okay, listen. I've heard stories of people who lived in Germany, in my neighborhood, maybe even in the same building as me, with the same name as me, who may or may not, allegedly, have just not gone to school if they were late.
I can tell that is a thing because I also remember at my previous employer, I was an assistant team leader back then. And there was someone who was supposed to be in, but he wasn't. So after he was late for like an hour already, I called him. And he's like, oh yeah, I overslept, sorry. I'm like, well, fine, can happen. Can you roughly say when you're coming in? And he's like, well, I don't think I'll come in at all anymore because now I'm late anyway, you know, I'm just gonna go back to sleep and like leave it. I'm like, what the fuck do I say to this?
Like, you know, it's weird for me because like in my soul, I understand that.
Like we all want to do that, but he just said it. But, like, I'm already late, so I might as well just not show up anymore.
But like if you call me and then you ask, oh, so when are you gonna be here? Then I would just go, yeah, sorry, I'm actually on my way to you. And I would still show up just because, I don't know, I would feel like this intense like pressure to still try to make an effort at this point. But then again, I would have also called or sent an email like, hey, I'm not doing well, I'll be in tomorrow, I hope.
They just call in sick then. They're like, oh, sorry, I'm not feeling all too well. Didn't have the chance to call yet. And don't just go like, hey, I overslept and now it's not worth it to me to still come to work. Yeah.
I've had days where I woke up at like 8 for 5:30 shift and at that point there's no helping with. Yeah. I wouldn't tell him I was taking off. Exactly. Just go, sorry, I'm doing so bad I couldn't even call. I'm so sorry, that's not like me, Play along, but don't just go, Lamau, work.
I see no point in still coming to work.
I would have been 1 minute late.
You're an hour late into an 8-hour shift. There's still 7 hours you can come to work for, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like.
But okay. I don't even remember what my answer was.
I don't know if I could have answered. I would have been like frozen from that.
Yeah, and even now, I wouldn't even know what I would say.
And then, like, after that call, and then, like, they hang up, like, yeah, I'm not coming in today, bye. Like, what do you say to, like, your boss when they ask, oh, did you reach them? What did they say? Do you tell the truth? Or do you lie? Like, both, like, I want to say, I would have struggled with it, but I would have told the truth. I said, like, well, I did call him, but he said he was late, so he just didn't show up at all.
Yeah, no, sorry. After that, I would absolutely tell on you. It's my job to tell on you.
Plus that, yeah.
It's my responsibility in that case. If my boss then goes, oh, where's this person? Oh, he's on the toilet. Like, no. Why should I put my job at risk?
Stomach cramps, he went to the shitter like 6 hours ago. What can you do?
If someone has a good reason, hey, I'll cover. I'll cover. I can't.
I'll cover it up. That's actually what you just did. Like, wait, I'm confused. What did I just witness? Were you actually going for a cover it up physical pun? Because it seemed
cover
like
it up, but I can't really say that, can I?
Not on stream.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you add allegedly.
Allegedly.
Then you can't say it, but it's allegedly. Not that we would ever do this, because obviously it's the wrong thing to do.
But if you have like no reason and you put my duty or my task at risk, like, yeah, hell no.
Like, don't drag me into this. I don't want any part of it.
Like, we need to be at some certain level for me to take that risk, allegedly.
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 No proof.
What's the matter, Keiichi-kun? You seem pretty down this morning.
Because today's the day when they teach you how to tell broccoli from cauliflower. And she's missing it. When I noticed how I looked and whispered to me while the teacher wasn't looking. Do I really seem that way?
Yeah. Even Reina is starting to feel down just looking at you.
I know how she means it and it's really sweet, but hearing it kind of like hurts. I thought of jokingly saying, "Then don't look at me," but I didn't even feel like doing that.
Is it something you can tell Reina? I don't know what you're worried about, but if I can help, then you can tell me, okay?
Sorry, Reina, I can't. It's taboo to talk about the guy cramps. I won't tease you. Reina said this, looking me straight in the eye. Until yesterday, nothing strange had happened and it was a lot of fun. Huh? Reina's eyes widened for a moment, not understanding what I meant, but she remained silent and listened. It was peaceful and fun. Every day was lively. Never had any doubts. Things would stay that way forever.
Yeah, you're right. Every day is fun. I'm sure today will be too.
You're sure? How do you know?
Well...
Reina, feeling perplexed, couldn't think of something to say. I didn't blame her. What I was trying to say seemed a little confusing even to me. I understand the keeping the conversation going or just reacting out of your own nature. But sometimes the best thing you can do for the mood in the room or for a conversation to just have a non-cringy way forward or ending is to just not reply. Just take the answer. No, I think today will still be fun. Okay, yeah, let's try to make it so. Awesome. Awesome. We understand each other. You know why I'm feeling down. I know that you're still trying to make it fun. No. Keiichi has to keep going. And I've done that myself so many times, and then afterwards I bit myself and was like, why didn't I just go? Yes, I agree. It seems so easy. When I think about it, I've been anxious lately. Maybe since every day is fun, one day, all of a sudden, it would get really dark, like a light bulb turned off. Or Mori references in my Higurashi.
Reina kind of understands how you feel.
Reina nodded gently.
We've always been taught that it wouldn't only be good things happening to us. Always been taught? Son, one day you're gonna walk out of the door and bad things will happen to you.
I think it's a very cutesy way of going, sometimes life just sucks. And it happens to everybody.
Yes, but it's always been taught. Seems, I don't know.
Bad things happen to good people too. God needs to do some bug fixing.
Yeah, they're only piling up.
We should start a petition.
They are only piling up.
Not every day is a fun day. True, some days are Mondays.
That is true, but the always having been taught is what throws me off. Today might be fun, Keiichi, but tomorrow might suck. Be prepared, because tomorrow is gonna be a shitty ass day.
Ah, yes. Hello, King Fossil. Happy Sunday. Welcome in. How are you doing?
Everything is sad.
Don't remind me of Monday.
Oh, I guess in that way you're always taught.
This is me putting my hand on your virtual shoulder. Honest Psycho. Some days are gonna be fun. And some days are just gonna be like this. They will suck.
Which is the Monday every week.
We're telling you this so that you don't live like Raina, you know, who goes, "Why was today not fun, Dad? You said every day would be fun if I was a good girl." As Psycho always had been taught. Exactly.
Sometimes I'm scared of what's going on at the Monday. It's basically that, no? Like on Sunday you already start preparing for what Monday will be.
Reminder, it helped me to do things on Sunday evening that you really enjoy so that the Sunday blues gets swatted away. That's why we're streaming on Sundays. That's a true fact. Because I'm looking forward to it.
Sometimes I'm scared of what's going on behind the fun. It's a little bit sad, but because of that, we learned how to do our best to make sure that the fun never stops.
You know, my problem with this is, if this was just two teenagers talking to each other, this would be kind of sweet, I guess, in a philosophical, poetic way. Like, hey, how about we just try to make every day as fun as it can be and just try to enjoy our lives like that. You know, like that kind of energy. But this is Reina, who just last day in-game did the whole, "Oh yes, it's Oyashiro-sama. I told him to not talk about it, and now he's dead." Like, I don't think Reina necessarily has the same definition of fun as I do. And I think hers might at points also contain like cannibalism or big hatchets being swung.
Well, that's why she's scared of what's behind the fun.
Yeah, I see.
So it's not a bad thing that you think our fun lives might not go on forever, Keiichi-kun? Kind of like if suddenly there was a volcanic eruption tomorrow and everyone died.
Thanks, I didn't have my daily dose of existential dread yet.
Is there a volcano in the area?
Mount Fuji. I don't know how far Hinamizawa is away from that, but isn't Mount Fuji a volcano?
Yeah, but I mean, how far is that?
I mean, fair enough. If a volcano actually goes boom boom like Krakatoa did.
Because I don't think the entirety of Japan will be gone if Mount Fuji erupts.
I don't know. Maybe.
And whereas it may never happen, they're somewhere near Gifu. Well, that doesn't tell me anything when it comes to location, honestly.
I don't understand what exactly... I mean, I get it. I don't know what that means geographically, but I take your word for it that they're safe. Okay, but then they might get hit by a meteorite. Easy.
I mean, also not unlikely.
Or heavy rains suddenly set in and then the river floods the entire town.
Chance is not zero.
You know? Or a heavy thunderstorm happens and lights all the houses on fire. Or a severe drought and a wood fire happens. Or...
Jack has a bingo card. Like he's just listing... he's listing all of the options he has on there.
One of the things that I've had to deal with in my life is that I have a very imaginative imagination, and sometimes it runs away with me or from me and I follow it, and then it leads me really dark places, and I had to learn to like rein myself back in. But I've thought about all of these things before. Like, you know, What if you suddenly get hit by a meteorite?
I mean, that's kind of normal, don't you? Sometimes, like when you're going on a long car journey, you sit in the back and you see a car crash right in front of you, and all of you go straight into it, and all of a sudden your entire family is dead except for you. And then it's like, oh no, I'm just daydreaming. Everyone's still alive until for an hour, and then you have another daydream on how everyone dies a horrible death.
I want to say everybody has thoughts like this at some point. Not because you want to, it just happens. Like, there is some part of our human brains that is like just really like fascinated with tragedy in a way and pain. I can't explain it.
You're doing the Ice Psycho, but this is extremely common actually.
It's like when people stand at a train station and the train is coming, and then people think, what if I jumped?
What if I trip?
No, not because they actually have suicidal thoughts. Just randomly, intrusive thought. What if I jumped? And then you realize, like, why am I thinking that? No. Like, every time it happens to me, if you're near me, you can tell I'm thinking that, because I will actively take a step back from the platform. Every time. Hasn't happened in a while, but still. Yeah, this is your brain warning you about potential dangers. Yeah, it makes sense. So, I fully get what Tifa was saying. Like, sitting in a car thinking, what if the door suddenly opened? Like, if you're like leaning into the side of a car.
Yeah, but
my chair agrees.
It's not even what if the door suddenly opens. It's also the whole imagining the scene happening. The amount of times I have actually saw myself fall out of the car and do the whole tumble over the highway until someone drives over me.
Nah, I think you would have this like very comically looking like rolling, and you would just keep rolling.
I mean, that would be nice, but not very realistic on a highway.
Yeah, I like my idea better.
Yeah.
Apparently, Hinamizawa is based on a small village called Shirakawa Village. It's also where Ryukishio-7 got most of his scenery photos. Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Shirakawa Go is a common tourist spot, if I remember correctly. Keiichi's house in real life is a warehouse, I think. That does check out, because it doesn't, like, it looks like it could be a warehouse.
I'm gonna...
I would live in it, but... Don't. Please don't. Please don't.
I'm quite sure you can just...
Please don't.
Fine.
You're gonna influence... Like, you Googling that is gonna tell Google, oh, people at this address looked this up. Oh, by the way, did you know Shirakawa Go is also, like, the backdrop for Hinamizawa? Oh, did you know that character so-and-so dies in chapter 7 for reason... No.
Yeah, fine.
Reminder, if you don't believe me that I'm like being paranoid, just by uploading our Danganronpa videos back then, before we were done playing the games, Google or YouTube pushed Danganronpa videos into my feed, like, hey, don't you want to watch this? Like the stuff that like when you have a video open, the stuff on the right hand side on desktop and stuff. And other people aren't as nice as us and keeping spoilers out of titles and thumbnails. That's what I'm saying. Am I paranoid with this? Maybe. It doesn't mean they're not doing this to me. Zangief 2, they similarly had a dam scare as well. Okay.
Okay, so there are some influences.
Shocking. Understandable. Thank you, Psycho. Thank you. Now get that into Tifa's head.
Yeah, I won't Google it.
Google it on your phone. Then at least it's not attached to this. Hey, wait. That's terrible.
If you were the only one who survived the catastrophe, Keiichi-kun, how would you feel? Oh, that reminds me. There is this girl on TikTok who actually was the only survivor of a volcano eruption on an island. I forgot her name, but it's actually really interesting. She's been telling about the story, like the, what do you call it, when you have that survival guild?
Survival guild.
She's also been burned almost all over her body, and she go through like her healing processes and how things have been for her. Suddenly I had to think of that.
The Survivors Guild. And it's a real thing, because when you go, oh, why me and not them? Like, what did I do wrong? What did I do right? What did they do wrong? You know, it's like, it's a whole like can of worms. How would I... I imagined myself being that sole survivor in the ruins of Hinamizawa. Rubble and the bodies of friends lying in heaps at my feet. It was such an abhorrent sight. Was it sadder that all my friends had died? Or was it sadder that I couldn't have died with them?
That thought, basically.
I didn't know which, but I'd probably cry a lot. It would probably break my heart. First, I think I'd cry.
And then maybe you would think this. If this was my destiny, then I should have made sure every day before this was as fun as possible, so I had no regrets.
I didn't want to consider such a horrible event to be my destiny. But... is this the point of Hinamizawa or Higurashi? That in every iteration of the story, bullshit, bad things happen to you or to Keiichi specifically. So the lesson here is play the games again, but only play the fun, happy, haha slice of life parts. Like, I feel like the game is talking to me right now.
No, I think we're trying to be on a path on where all these horrible things do not happen. But I'm not really sure what we're doing to make sure that doesn't happen. Because
probably would think that. So
because in some way there has to be a connection between the chapters. I do believe they're standalone, as in every chapter is its own multiverse thing, as we've already talked, but there has to be something that connects all of them together, and it's probably a way to make all of this crap not happen. That seems like the most common reason for a multiverse thing. Like, you know, shit happens, we don't want this. Different multiverse, we try to prevent this.
We need to protect John Connor.
Basically.
I think I'm bad with my Terminator lore.
I just don't really see it yet, but I think in that regard, yeah.
I'm so looking forward to the answer arcs and to like witness whether they actually feel any different.
I kind of wonder how they'll do the answer or...
I have no idea.
Same.
The more... This is so weird. The more I play Higurashi, the more confused I get. It's a weird type of sensation.
The fun times will end one day, and nobody knows when they will. It makes sense to live each day to the fullest, so that if it does happen tomorrow, you don't regret anything.
Yeah. Press A! We're on it! Only one way to tell. Yeah.
It's really hard to think like that. A lot of people take their everyday happiness for granted. They think tomorrow would be the same as today, so they leave things they could do today for tomorrow. Suddenly I feel much better about not cleaning up. Because if I need every day to be a happy day, and tomorrow might suck, then I shouldn't waste my time cleaning up.
It's specifically about not that, Tifa, but I was gonna say the same thing.
Well, this is my take.
That's why I don't dust.
They leave the kindness they could have shown today until tomorrow.
Hey Tifa, I love you.
I love you too.
Love.
Love.
Rena was usually cheerful and silly, but right now she wasn't like that at all. She was taking my troubles seriously. It was a little reassuring. Tell everybody that you have feelings for, that you love them. Do it right now. I challenge you.
I love you guys.
She didn't even say it to me now.
But I already have to you.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted you to feel bad for a moment.
But I already did.
Actually, no, that's a dickish thing to say. I didn't want you to feel bad specifically. I wanted you to feel like you should feel bad, and then I would laugh at you because you had done that.
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
No more.
What is love? I can tell you. It's Tifa for me.
Aww. Aww.
Yeah.
How sweet. I feel like love can be the simple things. Like you. But also like coming home and seeing dessert in the fridge.
Simple, Jack.
Like things that will make you happy.
Are you shaming me now because we haven't bought dessert in a while?
No, but I'm just saying it can be the simple.
You could have had ice cream, it's still in the freezer.
Sure.
You said something very sweet, but somehow I feel attacked. This is what it's like to live a German life.
But Keiichi-kun, you realized it. I think that's a wonderful thing. So that unease you have, I think you should keep it close to your heart.
Keep my unease close.
Yes. Everyone might die tomorrow in a big catastrophe. So you should be really nice to everyone today. So when the end really does come, you don't regret it. I see what she's trying to say, but...
Like, I understand, and I guess morally I agree. But the way this conversation has happened, it's like... And the ominous context, it's like... Okay, sure, Reina.
Hey,
yeah.
Don't forget that feeling of feeling like crap.
Yeah.
Keep it close to your heart.
Positive nihilism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people say that to actually be happy, you need to have felt like shit. So that you can actually fully appreciate it. Funnily enough, I forgot who it was. I watched this,
Do I think you need to have felt like shit for that? No. But I also think there's no one on this planet that has not felt like shit at some point. So that also doesn't really say anything. I mean, even if it's as a kid when you dropped a cookie.
I was gonna say, usually when I work and I want some background noise, I put on like Late Show with Stephen Colbert and stuff like that. Just something to listen to in the background. And he did this interview last week with Nick Cave. I've never heard of Nick Cave, but until now. And if I got this right, Nick Cave lost his son. He died a while ago. But during the interview, we actually talk about his grief, and Nick Cave goes, I grieved really hard. He puts it much better. He's actually like a poetic kind of person. Like, watch the interview if you want.
The soul of a poet.
Yeah, but like really, without it seeming or sounding pretentious.
Okay.
Like, it seems honest and heartfelt. But he says something like, when I went through my grief, I felt attacked, and I hated it when people told me, oh, you will ever feel any sense of happiness again. Because it seemed so alien to me. But after I actually got through it, when I learned to live with the grief and the pain, and I came out on the other side, I found a new type of appreciation for happiness, for nice things, for small kindness, like gestures, that I didn't have before. Like, it took me to go through this world-shattering, painful experience to learn how to see these beautiful things in the way I can see them now, that I just didn't before.
I mean, I can understand that because you have this sudden, I guess, realization that things can be gone in a moment.
Yeah, and for no good reason either.
Yeah.
So it makes you like... I haven't been there, thankfully. Hopefully I never will have to. But still, like, being able to appreciate things, and then especially coming from like a darker time in your life, going like... It can seem like it means even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can get that.
Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds were a decent band from the 90s as far as I know. Couldn't tell you a single song of theirs. Still haven't looked them up after this.
Fair.
Nietzsche would shed a tear. I hope so. Do you do that, Raina? Live like you would have no regrets if everyone died tomorrow?
Yep.
It was such a hyperbolic conversation, but Reina just gave me a nonchalant nod of her head.
Reina knows what it's like for the fun times to end overnight. She knows there's no proof tomorrow will be fun, even if today is. I'm living. Life to the fullest.
It seemed like Reina perfectly understood all the anxiety I couldn't put into words. And on top of that, like a reliable teacher, she showed me what to do. Oh. Hey, Keiichi Maebara? There's no need to cry now. Last night I feel like I had a dream about Satoko. I don't remember what kind of dream it was, but ever since this morning I felt anxious.
Because you thought seeing Satoko-chan's energetic face would cheer you up, right?
She was right on the money. If everyone had been here with smiles on their faces this morning, then the murk in my heart would have definitely been blown to smithereens.
Then, if Satoko-chan arrives, you'll have to be nice to her. Actually, it's totally fine if you play your usual pranks on each other. As long as you're having fun.
Yeah, you're right. So that even if these fun days came to an end, I'd have no regrets. I couldn't tell if what Reina told me had been comforting me or just made me more anxious. Sometimes those are very similar. But it was enough to make me think that if I saw Satoko again, I'd be honest with her. Oh, no shot of banners.
Oh.
How about we take a short break, because I would like some more water. And I need to do my hair. Like, this hairband I've got in here is like super pointless.
Sounds good. BRB.
BRB.
BRB. BRB. We're back.
Okay.
We're back.
Are we? Do we need to BRB again?
I saw the BRB button. Don't read and try to talk. That's it, really.
Okay, I wanted to tell you all that for some reason I have a burnt plastic flavor in my mouth, which is weird. That's not the story. Ages ago, by now, we were talking about me doing like protein shakes, and Tifa complaining that I take forever to make them because of like protein powder being like sticky and stuff. And I think it was you, Psycho, like, just use a mixer, like buy one. And I didn't. But Tifa now did, and I've been using it twice every day.
He was like, I'm not gonna use it. It took like a whole day of protest, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna use it. Because he puts it in a cup with milk or water, and then uses a fork or a spoon to put this shit together, and it's always lumpy. And after I bought it, it was always lumpy.
You're lumpy.
It was, absolutely. And then he spends like half an hour trying to mix it. So now I got one of those, just for...
A bullet mixer.
A bullet mixer just for like shakes and stuff. And after I bought it, he's like, I'm not going to use it. Like, that's more dishes and takes more time. And it took like a whole day before he started using it. And now he uses it like twice a day.
Twice a day. I usually make two. Yeah, I should have listened to you earlier, Psycho. Moral of the story is, buy an air fryer. Now.
That is also true.
Lunchtime arrived with everyone pushing their desks together like always. Satoko wasn't here. Despite that, we had bento boxes for 5 lined up on our desks. Rika-chan had made a bento for Satoko too. That's really sweet.
Was Satoko supposed to be here before lunch?
Rika-chan was clearly acting strangely. We were talking to her, but it felt like she was too far away to hear us. I'd never seen Rika-chan so downcast. So the rest of us started feeling down too. Hey, Reina? I understood what she said. I understood what she had said before pretty well. When we were together, we were supposed to have lots of fun, so we wouldn't have any regrets if the world ended tomorrow. And yet, Well, I just resolved myself to do it. Now we can't all be together. What the hell? Because it was just so sudden, wasn't it? I mean, yesterday was fun, so who could believe it would all end today? No volcanoes had erupted and no earthquakes or fires had happened either. The cicadas were making the same noises they did yesterday and the sun remained bright in the sky. It was the same normal day as always. So then, why? As I pondered, Reina's chopsticks reached in front of my face and stole a fried chicken out of my bento. That should be a war crime. You don't steal somebody's fried chicken. Listen, I've been a vegetarian for 10 years. You don't steal somebody's fried chicken. I remember fried chicken. Don't do that.
If no one else wants it, Reina will take it.
Fucking nuggies.
Exactly.
One of the things I miss from eating meat is your dad's breaded chicken. It's so good.
Yep.
It's so good. Or it was, I don't know. I barely remember. But in a memory,
that was the best chicken I've ever had.
Like, if you gave me like a pile of the chicken the way her dad makes it, and like every other restaurant, KFC, whatever, I would eat that one. It was so good.
It's been a long time since I had that.
Yeah, same.
If no one else wants it, Reina will take it. Delicious. Nuggies.
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 I would buy Reina nuggies. Reina tossed the entire piece into her mouth and began munching on it, her expression one of bliss.
But even like bad nuggies will make you happy.
No, then you haven't had bad nuggets.
Again.
I've had
like
bad nuggets before, and trust me, they were bad.
Like, I want to say McDonald's nuggets are technically not good.
No, but they taste
I can still eat them by the
but
bucket.
they taste good. They're not good for you. McDonald's isn't a good company, but they don't taste bad.
Yeah, fair.
The worst McDonald's nuggets I ever had were still leaps better than the next alternative.
Fair. I'm such an old man. Reina got a leg up on me. Alright. This old man's taking this bit of steak here. Meep. All my food is gone except my rice.
Rika-chan, also behind the curve, smiled again and went for someone else's bento. As I sat there, dazed at how quickly everyone had changed, Reina sent a wink over to me. How do you send somebody a wink? No, I think it's like
by
this.
Directing it at you.
So like this. No.
And now it was directed at Chad.
You know how I would do it? There. I winked into my hand and then I put it on you.
Well, best is if you then like also pluck the wink out.
Why she gotta make it weird, man?
I mean, if you want to, like at least give some physical evidence, like an eyelash. Pluck an eyelash.
Oh, wait. It's like when you blow a kiss, you know, people don't just go, they go. So why don't you do the same with a wink?
For the longest time when I was a teenager, I would actually do that because I like the sound it makes when you pull on them.
Wait, what?
When you pull on your eyelashes, it makes like this, and just do it, you'll hear the sound yourself.
Do it.
I don't think you can hear it if I do that. Like sometimes it will make like this little plopping sound.
Yeah, it's like squelchy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, did you actually hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, like it's not always.
No, stop. Not pulling out the hair, but pulling on the hair to make your eyelash go
you don't like pull
up, and then
them
you
out?
let go, and then sometimes you trap a tiny amount of air under your eyelid, and then it does like this little like sound.
You just pull on them a little before you let go. You don't pull them out of your.
Tifa, if I do that, I'll get herpes eyes again. Nobody wants that, and nobody wants to see that either.
But it makes a squelchy sound, like you said, that I always thought was fun. Just me?
Come on, Keiichi-kun. Live life to the fullest. That wave of volcano erupts tomorrow, it'll be okay. Squelch. That's the sound the star makes when you're supposed to read it. It's the sound of your eyelid squelching back onto your eye.
Oy.
There you go. Now, this is the ASMR nobody ever asked for. This is serious. I'll be damned if dried plums and rice are the only things I've left for lunch. I'm taking that meatball. I stuffed the meat into my mouth and constructed a clumsy smile. That's my face. Every single time I go, eat out. Every single time. They bring the food. I start eating. And the moment I have gorged myself with the food in my mouth, they come by the table. Is everything okay? Mm-hmm.
Because they always come at that moment.
Why? Every single time.
You have some people who do it on purpose.
So that you can't say no?
So that you can't say no, yeah.
Fair enough.
Suddenly I feel like going to a Croatian restaurant. The last one we went to had this meatball filled with feta.
This thick layer of goat cheese in this
oh, that was so
ground
good.
Meat patty, and it was the size of a baby.
Yes, and then on the side it was this giant white bean dish in sort of a tomato sauce.
Actual giant white beans the size of your thumb.
That was so delicious. I could totally go there now.
Oh, you mean the place where the vegetarian dishes were scrambled egg with a slice of bread?
Yeah, it's kinda...
I mean, you can go inside and eat and I'll watch from the outside. That's love. I would do that for you.
You can have a salad.
I would do that for you.
Yeah, and instead, for you, I've never been there again. Oh, it was so good.
That's sad.
That dish was a 10. Maybe I'll go for dinner with a colleague soon and go there.
Wow. Do what you want. I'll make a miso soup for myself again.
Yeah.
I played along as if trying to fool myself. But as I did, it rapidly became less and less of an act. Fake it till you make it.
Also, your fingerprint is still on my glasses.
I didn't even really touch them, I just doinked them.
Yeah, that's touching them. Exactly.
Satoko still wasn't here. But at some point we had regained our lively lunchtime. We had fun, we smiled, and we fooled around. Thanks everyone. This was definitely the best thing to do. This way, when Satoko suddenly dropped by, we could welcome her with our best smiles. The more I smiled, the more I felt the anxiety from this morning clearing away. Wasn't there a proverb that went something like fortune comes in by a merry gate?
I think so. If it's true, then this old man will roll around the floor laughing 24/7.
Do it.
Reina thinks it's true. If you laugh every day, it will be fun every day.
I don't know if we will ever play some Final Fantasy games on stream. I kind of want to, but they're long. But immediately in my head popped up Final Fantasy X, the Tidus scene with a ha 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 ha. Don't. What? Say what I said or play Final Fantasy game?
Yes.
I like Final Fantasy X. It's just that one scene in particular is weird, out of context. If you actually pay attention to the stuff before and after, it kind of makes sense, but the scene itself is it lingers. He laughs like a crow, yeah.
I've never played any of them.
You've never played any Final Fantasy games?
Nope.
Except for 14, of course. But...
Except for 14 now, yeah. Reina has a way with words.
And a hatchet. Then, should we try it out? Everyone took a deep breath, then brought their faces together, locking shoulders. How do you lock shoulders?
I think you just stand shoulder to shoulder.
And then...
Are we doing laughing therapy? That's too much.
It's a wahaha. I'm sorry. No. You are not laugh shaming me. No. I forgot this completely. This is kind of like that scene from Final Fantasy X.
But laugh therapy actually works, because the whole thing is that you like start awkwardly laughing together, and that actually will start to make you laugh just by how awkward it is or how.
Yeah, but the problem is actually starting it, like actually doing the exercise, because like.
Yeah, but that's what kicks it off, because everyone will start like ha 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 ha, and then with other people on how they're laughing, you'll start laughing, and that will trigger.
Hopefully, in every group, you have a evil French person that goes hon 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 hon.
Yeah, probably.
To be honest, that sounds like pure cringe. That's why it works.
It does, but also like kind of fun.
Because it will make you laugh. But like we said, somebody has to start. Like we just did. That was beautiful. I thought everyone laughed uproariously from their stomachs, trying to laugh out all the bad stuff accumulating in them. By the time our bento boxes were empty, everyone was red as rain.
Can this beat start repeating now? Or stop repeating?
I mean, you could also have cicadas in the background. I don't do cicada sounds, as you can tell. Having heard our friendly banter, Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun walked up and timidly spoke to us.
Excuse me, Maebara-san. Sorry to interrupt your fun, but...
We need your help with something. They grinned dryly and scratched their heads. What could it be? Want to know how to remove the censor bars in porn magazines?
Porn magazines had censor bars?
You can do that?
What's the point of a porn magazine if you have a censor bar in it? I've never actually looked into it.
It's the idea that you know the person is naked.
But isn't the whole...
No, generally speaking, your idea of what would be underneath it is at least as good as the real thing.
But then they might as well wear lingerie and stuff.
Yeah, but then you know that they're wearing stuff. The teeth of the sensor bar only censors a particular part of it, not like the whole lower body. It's not like you will see like a naked lady in one of these magazines doing like this, and then the sensor bar starts at the chin and goes to the belly button, and then there's one under the belly button to the feet.
But I would think like a nipple sensor bar, like stuff like that. But then what's the point of buying a porn magazine?
Well, you see the rest.
It seems pointless.
It's like that poster in Virtue's Last Reward.
Even in the game, they have to.
The same idea, though. It's to get the imagination going. Japan has a law about this since ancient times. That's true.
But that there has to be censor bars
Yes.
in porn magazines.
Yes. Japanese censoring laws have been around forever. Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever sells, I guess.
What could it be? Want to know how to remove the censor bars in porn magazines? By the way, don't believe what you hear about butter doing the trick. Total superstition. You can't use an eraser either. Why am I now imagining Keiichi having tried to use one of those dirty magazines, and then there's this... Who thinks...
Just rub some butter on it.
Wait. My mind is being blown. Are there people that believe that the censor bar is actually like glued on top of a page? Is that what they do over there? Because it has to be printed, right? That's black ink. So there's no way to remove the censor bar on a printed magazine.
Oh, it would be kind of fun if it was like, like a scratching ticket at the lottery.
No, Tifa, I'd rather not take a coin and scratch like on a cart over somebody's dangly bits.
No, but I mean, if you have to get rid of the bars, like that's a fun way to do it. I love scratching. I buy lottery tickets sometimes when we're on a vacation just to do the scratching. It's so satisfying.
Tifa just gave a whole new meaning to the phrase rubbing one out. I'm ashamed at myself for saying it. But I had to. It needed to be done. Not going to make the easy joke. Was it this one? Because I feel like it was.
Well, that means the
and Jack did it for me. Mwah, you're welcome.
The mosaic sensor.
Yeah. Mosaic.
Oh, mosaic, sorry.
Yeah.
Little fun fact, the censor laws gave rise to tentacle porn because they are technically not penises.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would have to censor a blenis, but you don't have to censor a blenis-like object. Laws, Tifa. Just accept. But anyway,
then why make it an actual tentacle and why not just go for like tentacle shape?
welcome to the, I believe, 40th or 41st stream of Higurashi, where Tifa...
Tentacles come in many shapes, sorry.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Tentacles do come in many shapes and sizes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the more you know. So how do we get rid of these sensor bars if
but
you
now,
can't scratch them?
please imagine somebody has a dirty magazine there with a black sensor bar being printed there, and then they go get a stick of butter and then they go... Like, now you have buttered a magazine. Like, I don't know. I don't like what I do. Wait, what? Seriously?
That's not what we're here for,
said Tomita-kun, elbowing Okamura-kun.
This is also one of those different formats compared to the other chapters.
Yeah.
Actually, our ball...
No, again, get your mind out of the gutter, you freak.
Actually, our ball got caught in the gutter on the second floor. Even if I said balls, it would have been the same. They could have had two balls.
No, Tifa, and you know it.
We were thinking you might be able to reach it since you're tall.
I see. Asking an upperclassman for your help. Asking an upperclassman for help comes with its own price, you know? I'm not cheap. You can't buy me out so easily. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun conversed for a short time, then gave a reply. We'll give you the right to take a nap during class, Maebara-san. How does that sound? What do you mean? I can sleep during class whenever I want. Why do I need your permission for it?
Oh no, you can't. The next time you take a nap, we'll tell Sensei about it.
Little narcs.
I see, how sly.
You little... Where did you learn to bargain like that? Oh. Sorry. It was just a little joke.
Come on, Kei-chan. Why not just cave into your underclassman's threats?
Now Mion was getting on my nerves. Suddenly it came to me, and I took Tomita-kun Okamura-kun's hands. I bet they're soft. Alright, I surrender. I'll get your ball for you, so give me all the rights to nap time.
Huh? Okay.
Look, Mion. I now have the privilege. But you don't, do you? Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, tell on Mion as soon as she falls asleep. Got it?
Yeah!
That's devilish. Ren and Rika-chan began to cackle at Keiichi-kun's victory. I wasn't sure how the ball managed to get stuck up there, but it was planted firmly in the school building's second floor gutter. Hand me that stick. I should be able to reach it. Here we go. Ah. I took a bamboo pole and poked the ball with it. Damn, it's hard. Come on.
Oh, you got it. You got it, Maebara-san. Thank you so much.
The ball rolled down the gutter and fell down behind the school building. My underclassmen ran over in that direction, leaving me by myself. Mission complete, I guess. Sheesh. There's still a lot of time left until lunch break was over. Guess I should go back to the classroom and absorb myself in a silly conversation with everyone and wait for afternoon classes. Until, just when I thought that and turned towards the entrance, someone suddenly called out to me. Oh no. Oh no. It's not necessarily his fault in the story, usually, I guess. But he is like a harbinger of doom, you know?
Well, I'm guessing he went to Rika and Satoko's house this morning.
To tell about Tenpei.
And that's why Satoko is maybe late.
Middle-aged man. Hello there, good day. Sorry for bothering you during your lunch break. It was a middle-aged man I didn't know. Or maybe I'd passed by him a few times and I'd seen his face, but I didn't know him. Lines like this just get into my head and under my skin. Like clearly the chapters have to be connected. Like there has to be some sense of shared memories, even if he can't recall it.
Nah, I don't think so.
When his half-smile deepened, something within me shuddered with fear. There was no basis for that, no reason. But I shuddered. I was somewhat confused about those emotions, not quite understanding them myself.
Because even if we put the other chapters next to it, there's no reason for him to be scared of Ooishi like this.
No, but like I just said, Ooishi is kind of like a harbinger of doom. Every time he shows up, things have already gone bad or they will go bad.
That is true.
So maybe not necessarily information lingers between the chapters, but impressions. There was one thing I could say though. Nobody but teachers and students should be at school. This person shouldn't have been here. I felt less of a tremble and more of a sense of dread. Like a caterpillar, brilliantly colored in garish, bileless greens, were crawling. Like
it's only one caterpillar.
Yeah. I felt less of a tremble and more of a sense of dread, like caterpillars, brilliantly colored in garish, bilious greens, crawling across my forehead. A feeling of disgust that neither itchy nor gross could describe as the frizzly, dreadful hair rubbed against my brow. Dreadful hair rubbed against my brow.
I have no clue.
I didn't even want to see his face.
You don't always have to understand the soul of a poet.
I guess. I wanted to jump backwards and run away. An unpleasant feeling for which I didn't even know the cause. The other side of myself has nothing but questions. Hey, what are you doing? What are you disgusted by? This is the first time you've met him. It's rude to hate someone for no reason. No answers were coming. I held my silence, waiting, a damn sweat running down my forehead. When he saw that, Ooishi thought that maybe he was being intimidating and gave me a relaxed smile. How does he know the name now? They do share something. He cannot know the name.
I agree.
He just was called middle-aged man.
Yeah, and he hasn't met him. I'm now thinking of whether this is from the point of Ooishi and that's why, or...
Okay. Like the narrator changed.
Yeah.
This wasn't Keiichi thinking that we were getting. This is the narrator talking.
Yeah, I'm not sure here yet. But now he has a name.
Yeah, because now we know it's Ooishi. Oh, Keiichi does. Don't tell me My mind is doing somersaults and my tongue can't keep up. Don't tell me the morphogenetic field is also a thing in Higurashi. Because it kind of feels like that.
Well, that's the question. Do we now actually know his name, or do we have the name there because we know and it's just been confirmed again by possibly a change of perception in the narration?
Nah. The name tags so far have never changed until a character introduced themselves. Or if they were among people that knew them. Like in the tip where they were playing Mahjong.
But if he would now suddenly know his name, I expect something like, oh, how do I know him? I just said I don't remember him.
I do not know.
Something to keep in the back of our minds, but to not get stuck on.
I'm confused. Oh, please, excuse me. I'm no one suspicious, I assure you. I'm Oishi from the Okinomiya Police Department. Wait, where did I put my card? Huh? What? This is... What? He fished through various pockets, then finally found his police ID and showed it to me, grinning dryly. He may have been trying to use those clumsy seeming actions to ease my anxiety, but I could definitely say it didn't work. Why was I this nervous? There was a reason, of course. If I wanted today be the same as before, then today didn't need someone who hadn't been here back then. The fact that a man who wasn't here yesterday showed up today meant that today would be a different day than those before it. That would mark the end of the fun and happy days. I gulped and erased that ominous conclusion from my mind. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. It's just an old guy who looks kinda perverted and came from the police department. Don't go deciding that the fun times are over. Why exactly does he look perverted? I'm willing to go along on that journey, but I just want to understand. What exactly is it?
I have no clue.
Is it the suspenders?
I didn't say nothing about him looks perverted. I'm guessing that's just a point of view from a young person looking at...
Apparently. He just came here because of his job. Yeah, just for his job.
It's the hentai.
I just realized something, Psycho.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
First of all, 10 out of 10. Tifa, I need to go to a Thai store.
Why?
I want a tie with a picture of a hen on it. I want to own an actual hentai. You know what I mean? Like, that needs to be a thing.
What's a hen in German?
Henne.
And Thai again?
Schlips.
Schlips.
You're learning German right now, whether you want to or not. Oh my god, Tifa just found a place that sells
There you go.
ties with chickens on them. I need that. Or Krawatte. Yes, sorry.
Krawatte.
You can also say that.
Yeah, got it. I mean, it's easier to learn. The reason why I said in German is because...
German Amazon.
No, not German Amazon. You can search in English there too. But if I would Google hentai, you probably won't get a hen Thai as a result.
Yes. Please don't do that while we're streaming.
That's why I did it in German, because then what it is quite clear and you won't get hentai as a...
Yeah, so instead of hentai, Tifa googled it in German, which is gezeichnete Pornografie aus Japan. That's German for the definition of hentai. Yeah, just first job.
Also, Krawatte does not sound like an actual word.
Krawatte sounds like one of those words that are the reason why people think German sounds aggressive. Oh, what a beautiful tie you're wearing. Ja, meine Krawatte. It just lends itself to that.
So eine schöne Krawatte.
Ja. If he's working, then he would normally go to the teacher's lounge, right? The fact that he spoke to me, yes, it must have been to ask where it was. Are you looking for the teacher's lounge? You just have to go through the entrance, and I didn't want to look at this man for another second, so I started pushing things along. Oishi, however, didn't seem to have any interest in the teacher's lounge. Oh no, I don't have anything to do there. Could I get you to call a friend of yours, if I may be so bold?
He's looking for Rika.
A friend? Who?
Then you need to be at the teacher's lounge for this reason, and then they can go and get the kid for you.
Yes, and all of this would have been way less awkward than this entire exchange.
Mm-hmm.
A girl. A girl.
A girl.
That's why he's a pervert. Now I get it. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. By putting that into my head, they caused this.
Oh, wait.
Could you call Satoko Hojo-san for me? My consciousness grew faint. Like I was about to pass out. Yes. My anxiety was realized. The dreadful, disgusting caterpillar was looking at me, about to crawl into my ear. Its frizzly, dreadful hair was touching my ear cavity. That's how bad it felt. I'm trying to give Tifa the 4D
I do
Higurashi
feel
experience.
my frizzy hair touching me. Oh no, now my head is itchy.
Do you feel the caterpillar?
Yes.
But what do the police need with Satoko? No. It's nothing important. I just had 2 or 3 things to ask. I'd like it if you could cooperate with me. Why? Why, of all people, was it Satoko? Why would a police officer come here in the middle of the day for something that wasn't important? This man was strange. I could smell it. And it smelled bad, just a whiff of it made me want to grimace. I knew that this man couldn't possibly be here to deliver her lost wallet or something. I couldn't imagine what he needed from Satoko, but it had to be something unpleasant. Earwigs are the one that get inside your ears. And apparently Hinamizawa frizzly, bilious caterpillars. Ew.
The nasty ones.
I imagine like a cicada.
Like those pee in your ear.
That could happen too. But,
from the tree.
But remember the pictures of like really big cicadas?
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine waking up and this insect the size of a rat just rests on your face, like trying to get into your ear for some reason. Like,
You only need to fear about that in Australia.
And Japan apparently. My throat stung with burning pain.
Do you think her brother came home?
No.
Or do you think this is about the murder?
I think it's about Teppei.
But then what?
Tenpei? Teppei? Teppei. Not Tenpei.
But then why is she late?
Well, I'm guessing the police wants to find Teppei or tell her that he seems to be on the loose, and I guess my original guess that Teppei got to her first turns out to be right.
Yeah, but then Rika wouldn't.
What is she gonna do? This evil...
Tell the cops or someone? Rika wouldn't leave her friend with a murderer if she thinks he's going to hurt her.
Just like Reina didn't leave us with a murderous Mion in her own home to go for a walk outside far away from her for 30 minutes.
But Mion is our best friend. That's different.
No. If this guy who murdered her aunt or whatever she was shows up and goes, "Hello girls, I'm gonna borrow Satoko, and if you tell anybody about this, you won't get her back ever."
And true, and Keiichi agreed to that, but nah, I don't think that's going to be it.
Only one way to find out. I felt burned like a parched, creviced wasteland. The wasteland broke apart deep in my throat and brought out the words from deep in my mind. You may need something from her, but I don't think Satoko needs anything from you. Could you please leave? What a completely normal thing to say to a police officer. Well, she probably hadn't expected that reply. He stood there surprised for a few moments. I did as well. I hadn't thought words like that could ever come out of my mouth. Things might still work out. This guy may have shown up out of the blue, but if I drove him off, maybe I could make it so that it never happened. If I could do that, then I could get back the peace we had until yesterday. I could get it back. We are only in episode 4 of this chapter and Keiichi already seems like somewhat mind-broken. You know what I mean? I need to get it back.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but...
Well, you sure are strict. Are you Satoko-san's manager, perhaps? Can I not see her without an appointment? If you just want to talk to her, shouldn't you just call her? Barging into school in the middle of a day isn't normal. Breaking through a dam would have been the perfect analogy to use. But you don't say that in Hinamizawa. Why didn't I like this man? This man shouldn't have been here. I needed to make it so that this man wasn't here. Childish, selfish emotions bubbled up from the depths of my mind and they each came out of my mouth just as it had been formed. Not liking the guy was my own problem. But to say things so bluntly to him? Even I thought I was crazy. Oh, you're the logical sort, aren't you? I'm not too good with people who talk like that. Oishi grinned and scratched at his sweaty throat. Even as he feigned stupidity, I could tell he was irritated. Hey, Keiichi Maebara? Why am I looking for a fight with this old policeman here? It's not like he brought the gift of misfortune with him all wrapped up in paper, right? See? He remembers something. Right. But it wasn't like he had brought a package of misfortune with him and was asking me to sign here, please. Rationally speaking, I understood all of that. So then, why was I so... Finally, I outlasted Oishi a game of silence and he gave a big sigh. And he addressed a few of my female underclassmen running around nearby. This is so weird.
Yeah, a bit.
No, excuse me, all of you. Do you have a moment? I'd like to call Satoko Hojo-san if you could. I'd like you to call Satoko Hojo-san if you could. My underclassmen tried to smile and reply, but they noticed the oddly stiff air atmosphere around me and seemed hesitant to give a quick answer. Is she not here? Satoko Hojo-san.
You know the weirdest thing? Why doesn't he just go to a fucking teacher? Why is he even arguing with these kids? Just go inside, go to the teacher, just go, hey, I need to talk to Satoko. Here's my badge.
What's up with that?
Why is he always finding the way around the adults? Is he now also doing work that he's not allowed to do and therefore...
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because it has to do with...
The S group.
The S group, exactly.
As the Sonozaki. I mean, we're guessing it's the Sonozakis, but...
But like he's always avoiding.
Guess it could be that her friends know more than the teacher.
Yeah, but all he wants from them now is to call Satoko.
This really fits well in my head with the whole, like... I'm trying to do things without raising too much attention to it, because, you know, whenever I go the official police work way, I'm being shot down. So I need to finagle my way into the whole situation, into a position where I can act. And not dealing with any of the adults who might know better, or who might call him out on that shit. You know?
Hojo-san, she stayed home today.
Stayed home. His face remained smiling, but his tone was clearly one of ill humor. Such Such conspicuous spite caused my underclassmen, who had answered honestly, to cringe in fear. I see. Dear me, dear me. I'm quite unlucky. He was smiling broadly, but the way he laughed didn't make me feel better at all. When he noticed that his laughter wasn't getting anyone else to laugh with him, he immediately stopped. So, you girls, could you tell me the name of his boy here? He grabbed the girls by the shoulders so they wouldn't run away and crouch down to address him at eye level. The girls flinched away from the sharp, piercing light in his eyes. In exchange for the release, they didn't resist and told him my name. Keiichi Maebara. From Hinamizawa. I see. Keiichi Maebara-san, is that it? He said my full name. That was all he said, and yet I couldn't help but shudder. It was like he had grabbed me by the collar just with those words. Oh, could you be the son of a Maebara family I've heard so much about? I hear your father is a renowned artist. His works go on display twice a year at the Great Exhibition in Tokyo, don't they? I don't know what sort of fantastic pictures he creates, though. Then there's your mother. She seems intelligent too. I heard she was a high academic achiever. She went to some girls' university, didn't she? It's amazing for someone that age to have graduated from a girls' university. Huh?
He's showing off that he knows a lot about us.
Yeah, no, I get the trying to, like, be imposing situation, but your mother, who we just assume has been a girl, went to a girls' university. And she's a high academic achiever. It's amazing for someone that age to have graduated from a girls' university.
It's implying that she's super smart and she graduated earlier than is normal. And she went to an all-girls university.
Oh, okay.
I like how he read your comments, by the way. She graduated early, and only then, after what I already just said, did he make the click.
Yeah. We've established this before. You are an unreliable source of information.
Only then did... Oh, of course.
If you hang around long enough with us in chat, at some point everybody will go through this experience. You will tell me something and then I will believe you, because why would I not? Even though Tifa just said the same thing, but when she says it, it's weird and funky. And when you say it, of course it's the truth. You know, just makes sense. I was confused by him bringing up the age. Like, could your mother actually be the daughter of a respectable family? At least those are the rumors, and they say she's a cold person because of it. Did you know that?
Can you imagine this random
I
dude?
told you! That is the connection! Why didn't I think of it earlier?
To which family?
The original murder mystery is that the damn construction person got torn apart into 5 bits.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Dark Lord, kick butts at D&D.
Have fun.
All the nat 20s to you. Thank you for being here. He got torn apart into 5 pieces. 4 of the family, 4 of the people owned up to it and were caught. The 5th one is missing. That's all we know about this, really.
Yes.
And it was always weird to me, we talked about this from the beginning, that Keiichi, one kid, makes super fast, tight friends with these 4 girls. The other
we
main
mentioned
characters.
in chapter 1 that he might be part of, or he might be a big family too.
And 1 plus 4 is 5. Do you see the magic trick I just did?
Yeah, but I don't think the Maebaras are
Correct.
their own family.
Yes.
She comes from one
Yes.
of the 4 families.
Yes, that's the connection.
And married
Yes.
and changed her name.
Yes. Why didn't I think of that earlier? That it doesn't have to be both the parents. It's enough if it's just one of them, because you know, people move, people get married, people change their names.
Yeah. Question is which one, I guess.
You're not gonna tell me our mom's maiden name was Sonozaki.
It would kind of make sense, but also not in the way all of this has been set up, because why keep it a secret, basically?
For it being a fifth family, you wouldn't want her to be a Sonozaki, but given like the influence, having her be a Sonozaki kind of would make sense.
Yeah, but
Also?
if that is the case, I also feel like that's kind of badly set up so far.
Also, my whole idea of 5 pieces, 5 families, then there is at least one more family that's missing though. Because we only know about the 3 big families. Sonozaki, Furude, and that of a mayor whose name I forgot.
Yeah, but I don't think it will be a 5 big family thing. You don't need to spread that over that. But what's even worse, you just went to a kid he's never met before and goes like, oh, your mother is pretty cold from what I've heard.
Yeah, this entire conversation is wild. We surely went to a very first neighborhood association meeting, right? That's certainly no good. You can't disrespect your neighbors in a place like this. And that would... If the mother is somehow connected to the people living here, that would also kind of explain why she never really leaves the house. As far as we know. You know, when you're a kid, you don't know what your parents are doing all day, every day.
Well, don't forget they made the choice to move back to Hinamizawa.
Yes. But at the same time, whenever there's an event like Watanagashi or the barbecue, our parents don't show up.
No, in chapter 1 I believe they went.
No, they didn't.
You sure?
Yes, because Keiichi asked them. I remember that distinctly.
Yeah, I remember he
asked, hey, did you guys go? And they were like, no, we were too tired, and then we didn't. A sense of eeriness slivered up my spine. That was my first experience of true terror. I couldn't believe it felt this terrible for someone you've just met to know everything about you already. Ooishi clamped down onto my shoulders and brought his eyes close to peer into mine. In a place like this, it would be far better not to make enemies, wouldn't it? And if not... Ow! Ooishi dug into my shoulders with inhuman strength. Gah! Then if something unexpected were to happen, you might see some drawbacks. Have you ever heard of karma? That's like how a butterfly flapping its wings can cause a tornado. Grudges born in strange places could come back to you in ways you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't like that, would you?
Okay, so this Ooishi is a much bigger asshole than in the previous chapters.
Nobody wants to have a grudge held against them. There's nothing positive about making enemies. What's the matter? Your shoulders are very stiff. Should I give you a massage? See? Feels good, right? Ow! 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 This man wasn't just strong, it was like he knew exactly where to press to make me feel pain. Only 4 or 5 fingers were on my shoulders, and yet the pain made me want to bend over backwards. Ah! A few of the girls from my class were pretty shaken up but didn't seem to want to help me. They weren't sure if they should go call the teacher. As for me, I couldn't take the time to wait until the teacher got here. It hurts.
Would you mind leaving things at that?
That's me.
Oh, I thought it was the teacher.
No.
True, she's blue.
I get the... Thank you. I get the... I guess perceived necessity of Ooishi-san's wet works. You know, going into the underbelly of a law to try to get his job done. But attacking a child, like...
Yeah, he's very
Come on,
different
bro.
so far in this chapter. Or completely different, as a matter of fact.
Like...
I wonder where we're going with that.
Would you mind leaving things like that? You're hurting him. Behind Ooishi-san, someone... To my disbelief, it was Coach. No my. If it isn't Dr. Irie. It certainly has been a while since we were last in touch. Dr. Irie. Discomforted by Coach's sudden appearance, Ooishi laughed scornfully. The vice on my shoulders, however, remained as strong as ever. Never mind the greetings. Please, just let go of Maebara-kun. Ooishi smiled daringly and glared straight at Coach. He didn't release me in the meantime, of course. I was just thinking of stopping by your place later, Doctor. You always seem so busy and we can never have a good chat. Yes. If you want, I'll chat with you all you like. But please, be sure to have a warrant first. After all, otherwise, I can't refuse to go voluntarily into questioning. Coach didn't display a shred of the weird behavior he'd shown at the baseball game and barbecue. He stared steadily at Ooishi and fought so that he would release me. His chances were terribly bad, of course. Compared to the relaxed Ooishi, Coach seemed like he was being defeated mentally. It made sense. Coach had a somewhat narrow stature, but Oishi's body was packed with muscles. It wasn't even a contest. But Coach was fighting for me without taking a step back. Beads of sweat formed on his face, and though he paled, he was fighting for my sake. Suddenly Oishi laughed and let go of my shoulders. My body exhausted, I fell right onto my backside. Maebara-kun, are you alright? Damn it, ow! I rubbed my shoulders where Oishi had latched onto them. The pain from falling over went away quickly, but this pain was lingering. Yeah, if somebody like really digs into your... yeah.
Mm-hmm. That will make you stiff.
Ah.
But why? Why is he such an ass?
I do not know. I'm guessing it has to be with Teppei, or has to do with Teppei. That doesn't excuse this behavior.
Yeah, but he is actually like a completely different person. Like, this hasn't happened yet.
What hasn't happened yet?
Him
This
being
this much
of
of a
character.
dick? Yeah, no. I expected to get the Higurashi eyes out of Oishi this time. You're right, Maebara-kun. This is terrible. Shit, ow, ow! I was just giving him a little massage. Maebara-san, aren't you over-exaggerating a bit? Boys have got to learn to man up. I wanted to retort, but I couldn't think of anything witty. Can you lift your shoulders? Are they in pain? If you're really hurt, then you should have a proper checkup. Let's just go to the nurse's office. Coach lent me his shoulder and walked beside me. What an exaggeration. I'd be the last person to do any sort of permanent damage, right?
Permanent damage, sure.
I'm still an active police officer, you know. Come, I don't know what you need to be here for, but if you're finished, then please leave. I'm going to complain about this directly to the chief, so please keep that in mind. No, that's a problem, ain't it? What happened? Who pissed in his coffee? Like, why is he this much of a douchebag? Ooishi-san waved his hand sarcastically, pivoted around and headed to the car parked by the school gates. And without turning back around, he got in and started the engine. Damn it! Who the hell was he? Damn it! He's a detective named Tatarigoroshi, and a hooligan. Everyone in the village hates him. Maebara-san, you should be careful too. Tatarigoroshi. Just like I thought, my gut instinct wasn't wrong. He would be the one. The one to bring unhappiness, misfortune, something that would ruin our peace. Shit, I won't accept it! All these fun days can't possibly end just because a guy like him showed up. I won't accept it. Coach seemed to be familiar with the school, so he brought me to the nurse's office without much trouble. The girls in my class came along as well, looking worried. Our teacher and the principal, having noticed the disturbance, came to see what was the matter. Bit late.
Maebara-kun, what's wrong? Are you hurt? Well, there was this weird man in the schoolyard just now, and Maebara-san.
Old people ruin everything. I know, right? Silly boomers. Boomering all over the place. Coach gently interrupted the girls, trying to explain. No. It looks like he just fell and twisted something. I think he's alright, but I wanted to make sure. If it's fine with you, I'll borrow the nurse's office for a bit. Please do, Mr. Irie. Please do, Dr. Irie. The principal gave him a deep bow. It looked like Coach was acquainted with the adults at school.
Hey, first time we see the nurse's office.
Alright. Eager peek around to see if there's anything that Tifa can complain about?
Nope, nothing weird. I mean, the place where the coat hanger thing, whatever that thing is called, where it's standing is very weird. Right in front of the closet, but
I think it's a really small place.
Other than that?
What I find weird is, I guess that's the water tap thingy. Like, middle of the screen, slightly to the left, you have this wash basin looking thing in the background. And above that, the water tap, I guess?
It's one of those ones that you can move. Easier to wash off.
Fair enough. He slid open the door to the nurse's. He slid open the doors to the nurse's office, but there wasn't a nurse in there or anything. I'd figured. I'd never seen anyone but Chie-sensei and the principal working here. Chie and the principal working in here.
As in the school.
Oh, I thought in this room. Maybe they have some overtime?
In the school.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do. It's a small village. Coach didn't seem to mind the fact that there was no nurse and quickly made his way into the nurse's office. He instructed me to sit down and started washing his hands in the sink. Oh, I get it. He's the coach for the boys' baseball team. He must be pretty used to treating wounds with first aid.
You take that cheer slander back.
Mate, she's a fair maiden. Yes, she is a fair maiden, and I'm saying the super hot martial artist principal might not be maidenless. Maybe he chops the vegetables for the curry with his karate moves, you know? Also, first aid on the shoulders being pinched. What do you do against that?
He might check for bruising.
I think he just wants to touch our skin again. The
Or-
weirdo.
Or that.
Could you show me where it was? Are you still in pain? No, it doesn't hurt at all anymore. I'm fine, really. I rolled up my shirt and showed him my shoulder. No bruise, not even nail marks. And yet it had hurt so much I thought my shoulders would be crushed. Even the pain had disappeared without a trace. It hurt so much, but not so much as a bruise remained. It just means he's used. It just means he's used to doing that. Used to it, huh? The next time you meet, don't provoke him. Nothing good will come of making him angry. If you go home with a uniformed policeman by your side, your family won't like that, will they? See? And then there's weird stuff like this. Like, what's so bad about that? It's the image you have that something could have gone wrong that is bad. But the fact itself? Oh, but then the neighbors are gonna talk about you.
I mean, the fact is, in this example, he pissed off the police. They have to escort him home to tell his parents about what a bad kid he was.
He was such a bad kid, I had to physically assault him. Well, you're right. Still, what happened? Why did you end up in a fight with him? He came up and said he needed something from Satoko. Huh. Satoko-chan. Coach's gaze lowered and his expression clouded a bit. Somehow the gesture seemed to be saying Ooishi was bound to come to Satoko and did, and that it was no laughing matter. Coach fell silent and thought. Quietly, he took a compress out of a first aid kit and put it on me. I left that they gave us the eerie ... to imply that he was actually quiet during it. Does he still plan on clinging to Satoko-chan? He's a persistent man, I'll give him that, like a snake. Coach mumbled to himself. Cling? Does that Ooishi guy go to Satoko's place a lot? Coach didn't answer, but the lack of a denial served well enough. What on earth did the policeman, probably a detective or something, need from Satoko? What mistake had led a detective to cling to the sweetly smiling Satoko? Maebara-san. Oh, right. You just moved here, didn't you? Yes. I did, but... Here we go. Have you heard anything about Oyashiro-sama's curse and about Satoko-chan?
This might be a good moment to save it.
This is the worst moment, Tifa.
Yeah, but this is gonna go into a long talk.
You disgust me.
Because now we're gonna learn about the curse and about Satoko's part in it, and it sucks to break that up. You don't agree?
Tifa had, yeah. See, now that you said Psycho, I get it. Fine.
Like, I would have still gone on a bit. Actually would have now.
Oh.
But if we now go into an hour conversation, there's never a good moment to save.
Why not just ask me when to save?
Oh, or that.
Fair enough.
If you have recommendations at a point, you can always say so.
You should save here.
Next time at 8, you should save. It's been enough.
After the recap, you should save here and call it a night. Just so we can get recaps of recaps next time.
No, the shittiest thing is always finding a good moment to save.
Yeah. Nah, you have the timing right most of the time. The beautiful thing with a story-heavy, longer game like this is, if you get to a point where you are at like peak conversation and it seems like the dumbest, worst way to possibly end the stream, that's great too, because it's a cliffhanger of all cliffhangers, you know?
Yeah, but in the middle of a talk, kinda sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
Like if he now goes into the whole what happened and how Satoko is involved in the curse and why she is cursed probably. Like there is no...
You had me after the first 3 words, you didn't need to keep going. For once, Tifa managed to persuade me. As I pull up my sock because it got loose.
Why are you even wearing socks?
Because if I don't, my nose will start for no reason. Because my body is weird.
It's so warm under the desk. There's no need for socks.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, I'm wearing shorts, Tifa isn't, so not as bad for me. It's really warm still for some reason. Tifa, for the coming week, am I right in thinking that we're going to play Higurashi on Tuesday and Wednesday? Because then we will have something special for Friday, because that's the last stream before our vacation.
Yep, that was the plan.
I know you don't yawn on purpose, and I know you can't control it, otherwise you would, but that felt hurtful.
No, indeed. The plan is Tuesday, Wednesday, Higurashi. Then Friday, depending on if our special stream will work.
It will work.
Otherwise, Higurashi.
I will make it work.
And then we have a 2-week vacation.
Yes. The only way Friday couldn't work out the way I planned it is if this person is being a hater. Are you gonna be a hater?
Maybe. I haven't decided yet. Depends on the mood.
No, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. I mean, I am sad to not be able to stream because we're traveling, but at the same time I'm looking forward to travel, so a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
We have actually decided to book Prague now.
Yes, we're going to Prague for a few days. And then we'll see what we do with the rest of the time.
Yeah, that's still open.
But
I'm already...
all the snacks.
I already have all of the snacks I plan on eating there, like sort of planned out.
I want to remind everybody that every time because it helps me like get into the joy of a vacation and like pre-happiness of the whole travel, I like to make plans for when I go somewhere. And Tifa always makes fun of me, like, oh, it's a German of you thinking about where you want to eat on what day. She has planned out our entire stay in terms of food. First day she wants to have breakfast at this place.
No,
lunch
I
there.
have not said which days, but I have said what I want to eat. The days I'm open with. Besides, I'm only going there for the food.
Fair enough.
Like, that's my only reason for going.
We could make the food at home. We could spend the 2 weeks streaming for all of you and learn how to make the dishes ourselves.
We should try to make how to make those knödel.
Yes. If you ever get to Prague, there's a place that sells dumplings. Knedlin is the name of the place, and they're divine.
It's the best thing ever.
We've had them last time, and now we're going there again specifically to go eat there. They're really good and cheap. It's a bad
that
combination.
place wasn't that cheap.
Yes, it was.
It's like this big ball, by the way, not like your typical
It's
dumpling.
the size of a baby's head.
With like filling in it. It was like $4 each. Knedlin, it's called.
Let me look it up.
Like, if you ever go to Prague, like, you have to make a stop there.
If you like food and it's not something you're allergic against, you need to go there. Where's the menu? 70 Czech krona. 280
Oh,
for a
280.
dumpling.
Okay,
That's cheap and very huge.
Yeah, okay, that's not bad.
I'm gonna give them some free advertisement. So they have sweet and savory dumplings. The sweet ones come with things like blueberry filling, which, you know, standard. Then there is raspberry with chocolate. There is caramel with hazelnuts, pure mango, chocolate. That's just a few of them. And for the savory ones, they have vegan ones too, and vegetarian ones. There's one with bear's garlic and Balkan cheese. And
it was divine.
it reeks like garlic, but it is divinity in your mouth. And the ratatouille one is also nice. Anyway, we're going there. At least twice.
I was considering going there for breakfast every day.
This one. If you ever get the chance, check out this place. Do it.
But yeah, 2-week vacation. We don't know what to do with our second week yet, so that's still open.
We will find something.
But the plan for next week is that.
Higurashi, Friday special stream. I've been working on it for over a year. I mean, I really haven't. I've tried like 3 times. Every time it didn't work. Today I tried and I got it to work. So, but yeah, over the time of a year. I want to say I've worked on this for a while. I'm just saying.
Sure.
Something like that.
Well, I have nothing more really. Now I'm hungry.
Shouldn't have brought up dumplings. I'm sorry. So I can skip the question whether you have any more nuggets of wisdom to disperse.
I've got no more nuggies.
Oh well. Have a nice week. We're still here next week. Don't worry. You haven't gotten rid of us yet. Don't you worry. We're still there. Time to go to bed. Press the button, Tifa.
pressing the button.
Thank you everybody for witnessing the weirdness that is Higurashi chapter 3 of us. We'll be back on Tuesday with Higurashi this time. See you then. Bye!
Bye!
Thank you.